The Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its vaulted ceiling lost in artificial twilight. Ambassador Marcus Chen stood at the defendant's podium, his charcoal suit immaculate, his posture relaxed. Around him, 200 species murmured in their native tongues, creating a symphony of clicks, whistles, and harmonic vibrations. He was alone. By design. The Vraxian Supreme Chancellor rose from her throne, her crystalline exoskeleton refracting the chamber's ambient light into 1,000 hostile rainbows. "Human," she began, her translator rendering her bioelectric pulses into galactic standard. "Your species has violated Protocol 7 of the Territorial Expansion Treaty. You have colonized the Kepler 442 system without Council approval." Marcus smiled. It was a small thing, barely a curve of his lips, but it sent ripples of unease through the assembled delegates. Humans were still new to the galactic stage, barely 3 generations since first contact. Their smiles were unsettling. "Madam Chancellor," Marcus replied, his voice steady and unremarkable. "Humanity disputes this claim. We submitted our colonization request 9 standard cycles ago. The Council's failure to respond within the mandated review period constitutes implicit approval under Article 12 of the treaty." The chamber erupted. The Thakor delegation slammed their chitinous appendages against their seats. The Luminary Collective dimmed in unified disapproval. The Chancellor's exoskeleton flared crimson. "Silence." Her voice boomed through the chamber. "The Council recognizes no such loophole. The Kepler system borders Vraxian space. Your presence there is an act of aggression." "Then, you misunderstand the treaty you authored," Marcus said, quietly. That was when the first energy bolt struck him. Came from the Thakor section, a mid-level delegate with more ambition than wisdom. The bolt crossed the 100 meters between them in a microsecond, designed to incapacitate, to humiliate, to remind this upstart species of their place. Marcus's hand moved. The chamber's sensors barely registered it. One moment the bolt was traveling toward his chest. The next it had been deflected harmlessly into the ceiling by the monomolecular blade that had appeared in Marcus's palm. The weapon sang a single pure note as it cut through the superheated plasma. The Thakor who fired froze, his compound eyes widening. Marcus hadn't moved from his position. The blade disappeared back into his sleeve. His expression remained pleasant, almost bored. "My apologies," he said. "Reflex action. I trust no one was harmed?" The Chancellor's exoskeleton had gone from crimson to a sickly purple. "This is unprecedented. You brought a weapon into the Council chamber?" "I am the weapon, Madam Chancellor," Marcus corrected gently. "The tool is merely an extension. But let's not allow this unfortunate incident to derail our discussion. You are accusing humanity of aggression?" The Luminary Collective pulsed anxiously. Their species had been present during humanity's evaluation period. They had read the files. They knew what most species didn't, that every human diplomat sent to the Galactic Council had first graduated from something Earth called special operations. Humanity didn't send lawyers to negotiate. They sent soldiers who had learned to speak softly. "Perhaps," the Chancellor said, her voice carefully modulated, "we should review the treaty provisions more carefully." "An excellent suggestion," Marcus agreed. "However, I believe that the core delegation owes me an apology. Attempted assassination of a diplomatic envoy is, I believe, a capital offense under galactic law." The Thakor delegate who had fired began to shake. His species understood violence. They had built their empire on it. But they also understood when they had encountered something that existed on a different level entirely. Marcus had moved faster than their targeting systems could track. Faster than thought. And he had shown mercy. That was the terrifying part. The Thakor Confederacy apologizes," the senior Thakor delegate stammered. "Our junior member acted without authorization." "Apology accepted," Marcus said. Then he turned to address the full council, his voice filling the vast chamber without amplification. "Let me be clear about something. Because I believe there has been a fundamental misunderstanding about my species. We are not requesting permission to exist in this galaxy. We are not asking for your approval of our expansion. We are informing you of our actions as required by the treaties we have signed in good faith." He paused, letting the words sink in. "Earth has known extinction-level wars. We have faced nuclear annihilation, climate collapse, asteroid impacts, and pandemic plagues. We have survived them all. Not because we are physically superior, Many of you are stronger, faster, live longer. We survive because we refuse to quit. Because we adapt. Because when pushed to the edge, we don't retreat. We push back harder. The Chancellor's exoskeleton had faded to a neutral gray. Is this a threat, Ambassador? No, Madam Chancellor, Marcus replied, and his smile widened fractionally. This is information. You attacked a human diplomat today. I could have killed 17 members of this council before your security systems even activated. I didn't. Not because I couldn't, but because humanity prefers peace. We prefer trade, cultural exchange, mutual prosperity. He let the silence stretch. But preference is not the same as limitation. Every human ship in your space could be a warship in 30 seconds. Every human colony could become a fortress. Every human diplomat is trained in arts of war that predate your species' discovery of fire. We hope, genuinely hope, that you never see that side of humanity. Marcus touched his chest where the energy bolt had been aimed. But we are prepared. We are always prepared. That is why we survived long enough to reach the stars. That is why we will be here long after many of your civilizations have become archaeological curiosities. The chamber was silent. 200 species, 200 civilizations that had conquered their worlds and reached for the cosmos, all staring at the lone human in the charcoal suit. Now, Marcus continued, his tone shifting back to diplomatic pleasantness, shall we discuss the Kepler 442 colonization approval? I have prepared a comprehensive presentation on the economic benefits for neighboring systems. I believe we can all profit from this arrangement. The Chancellor looked at him for a long moment. Then slowly she inclined her head. The Council acknowledges the validity of humanity's claim under Article 12. The colonization is approved. Marcus bowed slightly. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. It has been a productive session. As he walked from the chamber, delegates parted before him like water before a ship's prow. They understood now. They had tested humanity and found something they hadn't expected. Not a warrior, not a diplomat, something that wore the skin of one while always being the other. Death in a suit, walking softly through the corridors of power, and it smiled.